From the CNHT studios in Concord, New Hampshire, just a few blocks from the New Hampshire State House, this is GrokTALK.
Hi, this is Rich Gerard, host of Gerard at Large in the Morning, the Manchester area's only locally owned, locally operated, focused, and interested, riveting radio show, heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW, New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at GerardAtLarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
Just want to make a few brief comments about the attacks across Paris tonight. Once again, we've seen an outrageous attempt to terrorize innocent civilians. This is an attack not just on Paris, it's an attack not just on the people of France, but this is an attack on all of humanity and the universal values that we share. We stand prepared and ready to provide whatever assistance that the government and the people of France need to respond. France is our oldest ally. The French people have stood shoulder to shoulder with the United States time and again. And we want to be very clear that we stand together with them in the fight against terrorism and extremism. We don't yet know all the details of what has happened. We have been in contact with French officials to communicate our deepest condolences to the families of those who've been killed, to offer our prayers and thoughts to those who've been wounded. We have offered our full support to them. The situation is still unfolding. I've chosen not to call President Hollande at this time because my expectation is that he's very busy at the moment. I actually, by coincidence, was talking to him earlier today in preparation for the G20 meeting. But I am confident that I'll be in direct communications with him in the next few days, and we'll be coordinating in any ways that they think are helpful in the investigation of what's happened. This is a heartbreaking situation, and obviously those of us here in the United States know what it's like. We've gone through these kinds of episodes ourselves. And whenever these kinds of attacks happened, we've always been able to count on the French people to stand with us. They have been an extraordinary counterterrorism partner, and we intend to be there with them in that same fashion. I'm sure that in the days ahead we'll learn more about exactly what happened, and my teams will make sure that we are in communication with the press to provide you accurate information. I don't want to speculate at this point in terms of who was responsible for this. It appears that there may still be live activity and dangers that are taking place as we speak. And so until we know from French officials that the situation is under control and we have more information about it, I don't want to speculate. Okay?
This is a coalition of New Hampshire taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is a repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.
Steve McDonald here. Molly Shaheen, Senator Jean Shaheen's daughter, has a very expensive LA apartment where she lives and works, but for some strange reason, she voted here in New Hampshire. Elena Biden, niece to the man a heartbeat away from the presidency, well, she never lived in New Hampshire at all, and she voted here and went back home. Hampshire Democrat Emma Roos invited her adult children to leave their homes in Virginia, Washington, D.C. to claim they lived in New Hampshire to vote last November, and they went back home. New Hampshire State Senator Martha Fuller Clark, Vice Chair of the New Hampshire Democrat State Party, she had a whole bunch of people who aren't from here living in her home, including a paid congressional staffer and an ACLU lawyer from Arkansas. They don't live here. They all claim to be claiming to live here just so they can vote here and then leave. That's not all the Democrats who showed up to steal your votes and then leave, but that'll get you started. This is Steve McDonald for Granite Grok, and we'll keep shining the light on them for you.
Warning. This is not a safe space. I repeat, this is not a safe space.
3, 2, 1.
I'd like to welcome you to another edition of GrokTALK, brought to you by New Hampshire's leading conservative blog site, GrokTALK.com. We are your feared, extremist, right-wing, hard-charging, gun-toting, opinionated, outspoken, rabble-rousing, letter-writing, radio, microphone-stomping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for more news and opinion you could only get from GrokTALK.com.
Okay, well, welcome to GrokTALK, brought to you by GrokTALK.com and the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. Don't forget to check us out at GrokTALK.com. We're also on Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Ustream, YouTube, and we're on Facebook and Twitter. I got a lot of people in the room today. Yeehaw! It is. I gotta turn all these microphones on. I gotta see what mic you're on and what mic you're on. Starting here. We got somebody on the phone. Make sure she's there. Hello. All right, so we got Kim Murphy, Mike Rogers. Hold it, Kim, stop. Kim, stop. Technical considerations. Just a little push over. That's not technical. That's over. That's just you streaming. I got to get you into the.
He's playing software engineer and doing a little right justify there.
All right. You need to move that way.
I got to do a little left justify here.
It's a cozy Christmas picture. There you go. Skip.
Really move to the right, boys.
There is no justifying left, I understand.
Did we have Mike Rogers? Did I say Skip Murphy 3 times yet?
Yes.
Skip Murphy. That's like Beetlejuice. Mike Rogers, Kim Gilbert, Scott Morales, Rick Olson, and company. We have a lot of people in there. We have Susan Olson on the phone. And we are here to talk to you about all the news and events and culture and things that are going on. And we had a list of stuff that we were going to talk about. But we're going to have to take a little side trip because something happened yesterday in Paris that is dominating the news and it's taken up a lot of space, a lot of bandwidth, and it should, because it's a pretty tragic situation in Paris.
Put down your guns! It's an immigration problem.
And it is an immigration problem.
It's a horrible tragedy.
I was talking to my wife about it last night. I said, well, first of all, nobody's on, except for the bad people.
And the police.
And they're not there when it starts, so, yeah.
Long Joe, look at the anglicization of their culture. They don't run around with jackets that say gendarmerie anymore. They say police.
Ooh, I thought that was illegal in France.
I was surprised.
I just had the television on, which is really bad, but it appears that President Stompyfoot has declared that Paris is in fact not Cambridge. He was easily able to identify those at fault.
Oh, well, okay.
Has he actually come out and said extremist Islam?
We don't know who did it, yes.
We don't know who did it.
We need to reserve judgment. We're not sure. There's stuff going on.
We don't know what the motivation is.
Right. It could have been a lone wolf, right-wing Tea Party extremist.
I think it was the climate deniers.
Climate deniers. That is the biggest problem.
Well, it did bring Al Gore's 24 hours of climate chaos to a screeching halt.
Duran did get to perform though.
Did they?
So they were on the stage and they did their set, and
then they turned the towel.
They can say, you know what, we're dedicated. We worked through a terrorist attack.
That's right.
Well, I just have to quote this from the post I put up last night. From our POTUS, President of the United States, no challenge poses a greater threat to our future than climate change. Want to reconsider, sir?
There's a few people in Paris who might want to disagree with you.
Yeah, and then when he was talking with George Stephanopoulos, Georgie, another Democrat with a byline, said, we have contained them. I don't think so anymore.
We've contained them to Paris, apparently.
I don't know. I think they're contained down in New Orleans right now.
Yeah.
Did you see the load that got dropped off there?
No.
Yeah.
Enlighten us.
Oh, yes, the Syrians.
67,000, I think.
how many?
67,000.
67,000, I believe. The number could be wrong, but you know what? 2's enough for me.
6 or 7,000 Syrians?
Refugees.
Oh, yeah, refugees, yes.
Between the ages of 18 and 30.
Right, male. Religion.
Where have we heard this before? All right, guys, I'm going to ask, those of us who are armed one way or another, rise.
Here I am.
Jack,
Can't
you
see
say
me,
that
but
one.
Right, not with me.
It's five people.
I don't need to be.
Citizen, good on you. I like citizens, subjects.
wow.
When you guys pass a law so I can carry without having to crawl to a police chief and get a permit, otherwise
You can open carry.
I can open carry.
Yes, you can. Or you can wear a trench coat and carry a rifle under it. I mean, how stupid are these people?
The problem with trench coats is they think you're carrying something else under it. They think.
You just carry a shotgun on your back with the words Biden boomstick at the end of it, and nobody will touch you. That's it.
All it takes.
Well, fellas, this is serious. I mean, what was it, the Bad Boys movie? This stuff just got real.
Don's here.
We didn't know Don was coming. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Susan.
No, I said, this to quote Bad Boys, this stuff just got real.
It did.
You know, when France closes the borders 2 months after installing a turnstile, right?
Yeah.
And they close the borders and they say, that's it, no one else is coming in. That should get our attention. I don't know if they woke up or, and smelled the cafe au lait or what.
Oh, they're burning corpses, maybe.
Perhaps that as well.
Do you think, in your opinion, that I know there's certain aspects of the different populations in Europe who've already started erecting fences and walls and things. In your professional opinion as a world traveler, do you think that that's going to become the new norm? Do you think the rest of Europe's going to say, all right, we're not going to be Paris?
Yeah, well, it's kind of not, it's not funny, but I was, back in the day, I remember right after the Moroccan terrorists were doing their thing, I was headed to Paris from Brussels for a meeting. And I get into Paris, I don't know, late in the afternoon, head to my hotel, get checked in, and the next day, before meetings start, I used to stay at a little place around from the Champs-Élysées, and went over there to have some breakfast. And if you were seated on the sidewalk in an outdoor cafe, you could see heavily armed gendarmerie walking up and down the streets with, these selfie sticks? Mm-hmm. They had mirrors on them in the day, right? Mm-hmm. And they would go under everybody's seat out there on the Champs-Élysées checking for bombs. You couldn't go into a shop, you couldn't go into an office without having your briefcase, your pocketbook, or whatever searched. And if you didn't look like most of the folks in Paris, they put you in a 9-point hold on the ground and checked you out. So people have very short memories. And that's the fear for me is, so soon they forget.
In my day, it was the Irish, and not all of the Irish, just a few demented ones.
Oh, those Irish. Why is he looking at me as he says that?
So they're attempting to...
Wait. I'm going to try. I'm going to take a shot at this. Murphy.
Stereotype. Political correctness.
They attempted to blow up some landmarks in London,
not a safe space,
including Harrods store, which at the time was where the fancy, fashionable, and westernized Arabs shopped. It was how things change, okay? You can't make this stuff up. And so, exactly, you say the selfie sticks with mirrors on the end, Susan, and that's exactly what we had. Everywhere there was any kind of walled-off area, government buildings, military encampment, whatever, everybody going in had to show ID. Every car had to open the trunk. They ran around with the selfie sticks with mirrors looking underneath to make sure there was nothing unusual attached there, and so on and so forth.
Did they have any Starbucks in Paris?
Did not kill me in person.
Did they have Starbucks in Paris? Because I hear those are safe spaces now.
Oh my.
If you're gay, those are LTGBQRSTUV type deals.
Yeah.
Yes, we are not politically correct here at Grok.
And if you don't want to say Merry Christmas, I think Trump is right on the money when he says it's time to boycott Starbucks.
Yeah, well, it's appropriate.
It's not a tumor.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to...
Well, we're back to red again.
It's not a
And by the way, I want to say...
Hang on while I put on a white beard. Ho, ho, ho.
By the way,
Best Jets game.
Don has come in.
Don Ewing, the top letter writer to editors in the state.
Yes.
It's not a
The
tumor.
most erudite and notorious writer of letters to editors.
We're having all kinds of weird problems here with audio. All right.
Well, I want to go to Starbucks for my red cup. You know, I got to have that red cup. You really write your name on it. People are saying, oh, just say your name is Merry Christmas. Well, you know, that's fine, but I was telling him my name was Holden my groin. So, you know, that usually works pretty well.
Wow. So much for... You're close to rule number one.
How do you know his name isn't Holden? Could be.
No, that's the professor of doom that advises Obama on scientific matters.
All right. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the debate we just had. And just stick around and stay tuned. There's a whole ton of people here. We're all having a lot of fun. And this is GrokTALK. Just let me find the right button to push.
Hi, this is Rich Gerard, host of Gerard at Large in the Morning. The Manchester area's only locally owned, locally operated, focused, and interested, riveting radio show, heard live every Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 on 90.7 FM WLMW, New Hampshire Family Radio, and available 24/7 live or archived at GerardAtLarge.com. Be sure to tune in.
This is the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is a repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now, at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.
There's like 6,000 people here. to do with conservatism.
Correct. And this is the big discussion that's now going to come to the top of the list in the Republican Party. Are we Democrat light? Do we just manage big government, or do we rip it asunder? And I'm glad.
I have an idea.
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
I think that testosterone should be able to be sold over the counter.
I think it already is.
Along with Republican repair kits. Who's going to take on the manufacture of those?
That would be me that I've got to get back on.
That would be a plastic spine and a pair of steel balls.
Yes.
In a package on it with a Grok bookmark down the side.
Yes.
All you need in one package.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing that perplexes me is why do we always have these, in every cycle, first, remember when Dick Gephardt was running how his father would deliver milk, and now we got Kasich, my father was a mailman. I mean, what's the deal here? Who cares what your father did? You're running for president.
Wait a minute, what about old man Sanu?
Oh, yes.
Chris is running, come on.
Oh, well, he's running for governor.
His father was chief of staff.
Yep, Norman
Flew jets. That he wasn't supposed to.
Right. Who took jet rides and perks he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, he got a jet ride home, didn't he?
I don't have a jet sound effect. Maybe I do, right? I'll keep looking.
He was a jet setter.
He was a jet setter. Oh, look at you. Very cute. Let's see.
But I think, go ahead, Scott. I was going to say this friction that you were just talking about between the conservatives and just the Democrat light. That's nothing new. I mean, I was looking when he was talking. I looked over the shoulder. There was Bob Dole right there. I mean,
Bob Dole. What does Bob Dole think?
This has been going on for a while, and the problem is
well, since at least Roosevelt, anyway. Teddy, you know.
Teddy. Rockefeller was progressive, right?
The Progressive Party.
That's right. That's right.
Come on.
Right.
He started all this crap.
Yeah, and whenever they use the word practical or pragmatic, you know they're really talking about capitulation. Do you know that Kasich even said during this week's debate, "What about the children?" He actually said that. I haven't put that video clip up yet. I did put up the clip of the Kelly File and Frank Luntz where he scored the lowest score ever on Luntz's meters.
Yeah, let's not deport children.
Sure. Yeah.
Or minors, or terrorists, or bad guys.
Yep.
Come on. Kasich's a moron. He just needs to go home.
Yep, he does.
He's worse than that. He's a pious moron.
Yeah.
He's holier than thou.
He's trying to redefine the smile.
Whiny, pious moron.
Well, he's throwing a tantrum because he believes it's his turn and he should be getting it. And so
That's why he had Bob Dole. It was Bob Dole's turn and he didn't get it. Then it was Mitt Romney's turn. He didn't get it. Now it's John's turn.
It was McCain's turn. And look at all those presidents we have.
yeah, right.
And then Jeb Bush is touting that Bob Dole has endorsed him. I look at this and then go, in this climate, in this election year,
Why would you do that?
Exactly. Why would you do
Well,
that?
that's like the Cantor endorsement, wasn't it, a few months ago?
The death knell.
Senator Cantor came out and endorsed Jeb. It's you got to be kidding me.
You know, in 2008, when Mitt was running, and he was near the back of the pack, and he said, basically who would want the endorsement of losers like Bob Dole? In 2012, he cheerfully touted the fact that he'd been endorsed by Dole and McCain.
Yes, Congressman Bratt had other things to talk about.
There are some people who might actually be impressed by that, and none of them are in this room or on the phone.
I can't find any.
Alive?
Alive, yeah. There's the establishment folks and the GOP-E, if you like, who are...
Well, Kim, you come from a much more liberal part of the state than where most of us are, out that away. Mm-hmm. You just said that you can't find anybody that was impressed. I would think that there were much more moderate Republicans out your way that would have gone, yes, I think.
I think there are plenty in Connecticut that might be thrilled by that. Where I originally came from. There are plenty. I think the entire Connecticut GOP establishment very, very happy with Jeb Bush and that ilk. And I think even New Hampshire GOP, there's plenty of those. But personally don't know anybody.
Oh, those people
for Jeb or Kasich or Christy or any of the guys down, below the 5% mark.
Yeah.
Don't know anybody.
I have to say, you mean those people who lost their website for a little while yesterday?
Yes, absolutely. Didn't pay the bill. I wonder why, because nobody's sending them any money. Why would you want to?
Oh, somebody had the pony.
Well, I keep getting these appeals from Kelly's campaign for money to help her fight off the Liberals. And I said, I'll send you money to fight off the Liberals when you send me a candidate who can beat them.
You need to post that.
I will.
Thank you.
Well, we're the anti-Kelly website. So
Heck, we're the Antichrist here.
Do you have that?
we are that.
Okay.
And
you all have dedicated.
Unfortunately, she has made it necessary for me to spend more time picking on her.
You started this with your sidecar buddy.
No, that was him. No, wrong again. It was Tom.
Oh, was it Tom?
Tom Flaherty.
I thought that was you.
No, you've said that before, and I said...
Wallace and Gromit, England,
I send the credit where it's due. Tom Flaherty did that rather excellent Photoshop of Kelly in the sidecar with McNasty as Wallace in the sidecar.
Well, I hear she's changing her name to McWhy-Not.
Yeah, you call her Kelly McWhy-Not, and that makes, because it's got wine in it, and it's got McCain, and...
That's right, and
it's conservative.
The left asked her to do, she says, well, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
So the Senate is in balance, right? So what happens, what do you guys think if it is Kelly, which it will be, versus Mags? Are you guys going to abstain? And what if it can flip it? If you can flip it, we lose the R's lose the Senate.
I have already said I will not vote for Kelly Ayotte. Period. I will not vote for the Democrat, but I will not vote for Kelly Ayotte. And all I have to say is Walt Havenstein and Scott Brown. We did it once, we'll do it again. And until the NHGOP gets it and starts putting up candidates that I can really get behind instead of having to hold my nose, that's it.
Yep.
So does
I'm voting for Hannah Dustin.
Hannah Dustin.
I like that.
Axe the hacks.
So, I just, I look at what happened to Frank when he lost. If he gets the nomination, he'll lose again. Because
not this time.
The base won't vote for him. The base in New Hampshire, the Libertarians, the Conservatives, they will not vote for her. They just won't do it.
I think Dan Innes will actually make it this time, and in spite of his background, I think he's more conservative than Frank.
Fiscally, definitely.
It's a low bar.
It is a low bar. It is a very low bar.
There's also Pam Tucker who's looking at it. I mean, I'm quite sure that we're going to see 2 or 3 others who have yet to surface to come in, and it may be a very interesting race.
Feeding frenzy.
It will be a feeding
And this
frenzy.
is work for the 603 Alliance, which is to help to vet, present, and run a caucus for the statewide offices and the congressional seats to attempt to get a conservative to bubble up to the top of the stack.
I think that's true, and I think it certainly has put a shot across the bow and a shiver into their timbers at the NHGOP that people like us do that again. Do it again.
Ooh, you wordsmith you.
Shiver me timbers.
Shiver me timbers.
What am I doing? I can't see.
I shivered.
When I met Jennifer Horn the first time, I think it was at a Mitt Romney event up here a couple of years ago. And I shook her hand and I said, I just moved here from Connecticut and I want to help you pull New Hampshire further to the right. And she looked at me like I had 3 heads, didn't know what to do with that. And she was like, thanks.
We're going to take a really short break. Stay tuned. We will be right back. Hopefully this works.
This is the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is a repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now, to the top part of the list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, if you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.
You want to know why the American people are frustrated. You want to know why they're ticked off. off, you want to know why they cannot understand. It's not that we keep losing elections. That would be frustrating. But you could understand. We got to do a better job. We got to motivate people. We got to convince people. We got to get a message that resonates.
Start this. Hang on. I'll screw it up. I'll be right back. Stop this nonsense and see what happens. We're going to throw this out. Throw this out. Throw this out. We're going to try and start the show. Again, no. We're going to start the segment and see what happens. Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1.
To another. No, we're not in a break. We're not in a break.
Brought to
We're not going to break.
Hampshire's leading conservative
Here we go.
Your fear extremist right-wing hard charter opinionated outspoken
she was thinking about running for Senate rather than for Congress because we need a more conservative senator. And I was shocked when she responded that she has publicly endorsed Kelly Ayotte, who she thinks is our best chance for beating Hassan.
She's a little premature with
I told her, I think she's probably Elliottte's probably going to lose anyway, and I'd much rather pull the handle to vote for someone I want than and who loses than pull the handle for someone I don't want who loses. But it seems to me it's our job, part of our job, to get a better candidate to win the primary.
Kelly Ayotte will lose. The only question, and I mean that as in, I'll make a large bet on that if necessary. Kelly Ayotte will lose. The only question for the Republican Party is whether it's smart enough to pick a better candidate in the primary so that it doesn't lose the general.
I am really shocked that Pam Tucker said that, and that points to a fundamental in her logic. You know, I've said for years now, winning is only a precursor. It's what you do afterwards that's most important. And what we've seen out of Kelly Ayotte is not what I would consider stellar as far as afterwards. I mean, all you have to do is look at Granite Rock, and you know where we stand on this. And for Pam to say that, to endorse that afterwards, that Kelly Ayotte has presented, gives me grave misgivings about her running for Congress. I mean, that almost takes her off the... And I like Pam. I think she's